So Laura Ingraham is facing a little bit of criticism for telling asylum seekers to apply, quote, in the safety of their home countries. Now, those of you might be thinking, wait a minute, what is she talking about? The whole purpose of being an asylum seeker is to get away from a country that is dangerous. But of course, she doesn't get that. And I actually want to show you the segment where she starts off by saying this.
Girls are being abused, raped, and in some cases trafficked as part of these caravans, and it is despicable what is happening to these young people. Congress needs to get its head out of the sand and stop this madness once and for all. If someone crosses the border illegally, with rare exception, they should be turned back immediately. Family units or people posing as family units would not make this dangerous trek once word spread in their home country. Congress should pass this law. If you want to apply for asylum, that's fine, but you should do so in the safety of your home country, or, as is beginning to happen now, once you're in the United States and you declare, you should be sent to Mexico until your case comes up for hearing. We have a backlog right now of 800,000 immigration cases. The current system today, it's obvious. Come on, everybody knows this. Democrats know this. It incentivizes human trafficking, the abuse of kids, and more illegal crossings, period. That's why you have the big jump. Any Democrat or any Republican who refuses to act now are the ones who are truly lacking in the feeling and the compassion and the empathy, not only for the illegal immigrants, but for the American people they're supposed to be representing.
Hey, asylum seekers. Yeah, the guys who are running, or the families, I should say, kids, women, children, and men, running from gangs and death squads. Just go back to your country and apply the legal way. But wait a minute. That's not how that works. Coming to America to apply for asylum is the legal way. In fact, the U.S. government's website for asylum seekers literally says, step 1, arrive in the U.S. It explains, to apply for asylum in the United States, you must be physically present in the United States or seeking entry into the U.S. at a port of entry. Now look, is she right that there is a crisis as far as what, like a lot of people, refugees, asylum seekers wanting to come in, and we've got a gigantic backlog? Yes, that is absolutely true. Well, no, what have the Republicans done about that backlog? They have done nothing. Every time there is a bipartisan piece of legislation to do something about the border and the gigantic backlog of people wanting to get into the United States, the Republicans basically spike it. They're like, no, we will not do this. We will not do bipartisan immigration reform because, look, we hate Mexicans. We hate people from South America. We hate Latinos. And, of course, the reason that they say, that they don't like Latinos is because they assume that they will all vote for Democrats. Well, if you do things that are anti-Latino, then I wouldn't be surprised if they don't vote for you. I'm just saying. But look, here's the thing on that, right? So both of those requirements for asylum seeking require you to be physically in the United States. You've got to be here. It would take 30 seconds or less to Google that to find out the answer. Somebody did not do their homework. And as far as the responses on social media go, there were two schools of thought on why this had occurred, why she was making that argument. Either Ingraham knows and she's lying, or she is deeply stupid. You're going to get what I think later on. But first, Samantha Kramer says, that's just not how this works. You have to be in the United States to apply for asylum. Ingraham is willfully ignorant. Another one, Jeff Silverman says, Ingraham makes a statement reflecting total ignorance, a lack of comprehension on what asylum is. People who are fleeing their country for asylum in the U.S., in the USA, are in fear of their lives. Doing it in their home country is courting their own murders by their home country. That's all great points. Sean, however, has a different point of view on this. He says, the worst part is that she's not a moron. She knows that this not only runs counter to existing US and UN laws, but that it makes no sense. Further, Ingraham knows that by championing this idea, she is directly causing conflict, hardship, and death. The cruelty is the point. Holy Bullies backs that up by saying, she knows what she's saying. Ingraham is a mega xenophobe. And where do I fall on this one, right? In my view, I think she does know better. She's not a dumb person. She's not stupid, right? And I know that's, no, what are you talking about? She's dumb. No, she's ignorant, right? But she's not ignorant about this. She is deeply hateful. And maybe she's ignorant to the point where she believes the terrible stereotypes about Latinos. But as far as being stupid enough to not know this, to not know the law, no, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Again, I can overlook a certain part of ignorance, right? But like, if you don't know how this works and you're a regular person, that's fine. But she is an anchor on Fox News. She has an entire team. You know, I do this show by myself. Okay, and I can find this out really, really easily on the internet. You don't think that she could do that? You don't think a staffer could do that? No, they absolutely could. And again, this is ignorance on purpose. This is willful ignorance, right? And look, people can learn. I learn every day. I learn new things every day. I do that for the show. But this is willful on her part. And it's malicious. And the reason is she doesn't want people coming here. She wants them to do the wrong thing so that they'll never be able to leave. And look, these people will likely end up being either murdered, imprisoned, or actually trafficked. She does not care about these people. She just doesn't. You didn't see her talking about the trans woman who was deported to El Salvador and then murdered. That blood is on the hands of the right wing, who could have given her political asylum over her identity. That's the whole point of political asylum. She had a great case to make, to make that she was in danger of being murdered for who she was, because that's what they do. However, in the end, I mean, again, that case was made because she was murdered when she got sent back. It's almost as if they're saying that, hey, we need to leave our country to flee death. Well, they have a point. But of course, ask these hateful, racist people, and they'll disagree, or worse, they'll actively try to sabotage you. So, and again, there's a lot of good responses on this, right? There's for example, this one. Thought from my head says, also Yazidis and Christians in the Middle East. They didn't even have a country, much less a safe country, but that won't compute in Ingraham's hateful and minimized brand. So the reason I say that, to bring that up, is that's a great point. We're all about helping Middle Eastern, Christians and Yazidis and all that, right? They didn't have a home country. They couldn't have applied for asylum in the way that Ingraham wanted them to. Now, especially Syrian Christians, right? So this is somebody this is a group that the right wing is like, oh no, we need to bring them over immediately, right now. Save all the Christians in Syria. No, look, I'm not against that. I'm for that. Yes, let's save the Christians in Syria. Let's also save everyone else too. That is a refugee that needs asylum. Yes, let's do that. That would be fantastic. But instead, they only see the people that they want to see, and the rest they tell, oh no, you can just stay home. You can just stay there. Don't agree with that. Now, a couple of fun ones before we end the segment here. Jay Howe says, if your house were on fire, would you stay in the safety of your home and wait for the fire department to arrive? Hashtag Fox Logic. And finally, Arthur Dent says, Laura Ingraham on Ash Wednesday to the guy wandering in the desert for 40 days. Walk it off. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know how I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.